We're meeting this morning as a follow-up of last Saturday. Last Saturday was a opportunity for me to introduce to you myself, our company, and what we think we have to offer for you, okay? Hopefully you saw that or you would be here this morning. Our goal is to teach you how to do this right. And so we're not going to go too fast, and we're not going to jump things that you need to know before you can take this to the next level. First of all, I want to congratulate you that are here for doing exactly what's required. And what's required is that you go on your time and you find vacant houses, and you did, okay? Now, what we're going to teach you today is how to utilize the vacant houses. What does it mean? When you see a vacant house, something's wrong, okay, typically. Occasionally people are just in a transition from moving to this house to another one. Maybe they sold it, whatever. But most times it's an estate, it's a foreclosure, it's whatever. And we're going to help you determine that today. We're just going to work on each one of your leads, your one lead, okay? You learn the system and you go back home and you do it and you print it out so that when we meet again, now we're looking for the next level. The next level is from that you'll be able to call and talk to me about it or whatever, or to one of each one of you will have an upline person in our office. That upline will be a licensed real estate agent with our company, all right? So this morning I'm just going to share with you a closing that we had this morning. It's up on the board, and you'll see that down here, if you scroll it down a little bit, Faith, the sales price was $145,000. $145,000, and if you, this case, to make this work, we had to get the seller to pay the buyer's closing costs. Now this is not just some listing, this is a property that we bought in our program, right, through our program, and this is how good this works. Now this was a double-wide mobile home in terrible conditions, okay? And we had it completely remodeled and redone. And this is why I'm telling you I like the inexpensive properties, because we have limited investment. Everybody has limited investment. But if you scroll it down, Faith, I'm going to show them the commission involved. And you see the 4350 and the 4350? That means we listed and we sold it, okay? Well, that's one of the benefits of this program for a real estate agent. Now, you that are not real estate agents, I advise you to get your license. This is why, okay? You could have been the real estate agent in here and not involved in the partnership at all, you see. So there are all kind of ways to do this, and I'm just suggesting and recommending what I believe is the right way after all these years. So, but look down here, it says the seller is going to get a check today for $125,000 right here, okay? Wow. Now, is $125,000 all profit? No. No, out of that he had to pay. He will get reimbursed his money, okay, that he put up for buying the house, okay, that we bought for $25,000. Fixing the house, which he fixed it for $50,000. Okay. Now we got $75,000 in it, and guess what? Sold it for $125,000. Now, but this is an unusually good. Typically, we're looking to, as I told you, to make a maximum minimum of $20,000. This one's going to do much better than that. Right? Now, we're partners with the investor to put the money into this. We don't have any money in it, and that's the way we do it, and that's the way it's structured, and that's what happens. Now, next week we'll sit down and he'll go through with this. He's been writing the checks and paying the bills, which is okay with us. And or we can run it through our accounts and do it ourselves. Either way, it doesn't matter. So anyway, this is a very profitable deal. Now, all I can tell you that, and I want you to do this my way, and the minute you don't do it my way, then you and I don't. We go our separate ways, okay? Because I've been there, done everything you can imagine, and made all the mistakes you could ever figure out. But anyway, I wanted to show you this because this happened today. We haven't even gotten paid yet, okay? Closing was done, signed 6:50 this morning. The buyer was a little old lady that didn't think she could buy anything, okay? She needed something for her family. We know these programs. We learned the programs. the marketing and sale of this property is essential. All the properties that go through this company will have to be listed back with this company. We can pay referral fees to anybody that's got license with a different company. We do that, not a problem on the commission part, but we can still be partners on the partnership part, okay? So I wanted all of you to see this, and I want to thank you again for what you've done to be here today. And so what we're going to do is take, step one is the property appraisers. All right, we're going to the property appraiser this morning. We're going to find out who owns one of your leads. Dan, Daniel, we can start with yours. If you got one of yours, can you give me one?
Oh,
Just
sure.
an address. Now what she's going to do, I just wanted to show you this closing because that's what we're all after, is the closing, right? But you got to sell it. You got to buy it, fix it, and sell it, you see. So somebody in the team has to do that. That's why the team is so important for you to get started. And what you're doing in the field, I can't do. We don't have the staff and the people to go right around and find vacant houses. That's why this works, all right? And so I want y'all to be attentive. Faith Semino is going to show us this morning, knows more about this than anybody I know. All right? I don't know anybody else in the whole industry that can do what she does. And so we're blessed to be able to have her this morning. Now, this is the property, where are we at? Putnam County, yeah, you're the right one. Okay, so if you wanted to go to Putnam County, you would type in, you can Google if you want to, Putnam County Property Appraiser. Not the clerk of the court, not the tax collector, property appraiser, okay? Make sure you get that right because that's where we want to start. Now, when you rode by and you saw those leads, you didn't know who that is. You don't know who owns them, okay? Now, first thing we're going to do is find out who owns them. We're going to find out if there's any lawsuits filed against the property. All right, we're going to find out some things about it. We're going to find out if the taxes are current. We're going to find out enough information today for you to make a qualified decision about whether that's a lead or no lead, okay?
So you
Now,
can see on property appraisal if there's liens on the house?
Oh, yeah.
it will show, yes, it will, but that's not really what we're after. We're to the next level. It will. It'll show you if there's a list pin has been filed.
Okay.
Okay. They'll show you when the last closing was. It'll show you what it sold for. On that site, you can click on it and go find comps. I mean, there's all kinds of information on the list on that site, and that's why I wanted you guys to learn it right, learn to do it right. So we're started, and so Faith, go to the Putnam County Property Appraiser, and you can take over from here. Daniel, did you give her an address yet?
No, whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Okay.
204 Chapman, Chapman Street,
What's it?
and that's Crescent City.
What's it code?
32112, there it is.
Now, she's already found out. Now, here we see who owns it. Now we know who owns it. Okay?
Oh,
Virginia.
yeah, okay.
That is a very important part of this, obviously. We found out who owns the property. All right, so it's in Crescent City, and she is going to click on that. And we're going down. Big you can take it.
This is where they do the valuations. They give you some dimensions here.
Speak in here.
This is where they record the sales.
So, is that in this particular property?
Yes.
Okay. All right. When did this sell last?
October of 2000.
Now, other people bought it in October 2000. That's important information because if they had put a mortgage on it, then they would have paid on that typically or possibly for that many years. Who's that?
I didn't catch them.
Need the
Edith.
fax number.
But I need the fax number.
I don't know it yet. Okay.
Read out where we do it, so.
All right.
Make a copy, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now you know who owns it, and you know how much they paid for it, and you know when they bought it, okay? Why is that? Multiple reasons that's important, because typically if you bought a house and you had it that long, it would come up in value.
Okay.
That's one thing, all right? And the other thing is that if you have a mortgage on it, and you spend, how many years is that, 19 years? If you'd paid 19 years on a 30-year mortgage, then you would have equity by virtue of debt reduction in the mortgage as well as increasing the value. Now you're looking for equity. What are we looking for when we do this? We're looking for equity.
Okay.
Okay? We're looking for equity. What are we going to do to create the equity? We're going to find it and buy it. Here's a cliche about real estate. You make your money when you buy it, and you collect your money when you sell it. Okay? And that's a true statement. And you remember what I said about buy some, sell some, buy some, keep some? The ones you sell will make you money, and the ones you keep will make you rich. All right? Now, all right, let's go ahead. Faith, it's up to you. All right, on this site, you got the name of the owner, you got the address of the property, but you also have something else. You have the tax ID number. Now, you can look that property up with the tax ID number, you see, if you knew that number. Some of them have become more difficult. Now, here's the other thing.
Which one is the tax ID number? This
That
one?
parcel number on the left.
Parcel ID number. Right
Okay,
there,
where it says
right
parcel.
above her name.
Okay.
Okay.
You don't need to write it down, it's just write down the parcel
Well, I
ID
need to
number,
be
is
able
what
to
it is,
find
you know,
it.
and because, but this is all part, if you were gonna bring something to us, I want you to bring it to us where we can analyze it, where we can find if it's an issue about it, we wanna check it from both sides, okay? I'm talking about from the legal description side as well as the ownership side, you know, and we'll take it to the next level. Go ahead, Vicki.
This is where the description of the structure is, when it was built, what the size is, bedrooms and baths. The flooring, the exterior, whether there's a garage or not, whether there's a porch.
Can I ask something?
Sure.
If you physically see an improvement when you look at the house, but it's not listed there, could that mean it's not permitted, or does that bring up a concern?
It does,
Okay,
it does. Many times that's the case.
yeah,
Okay?
Especially-
And so, especially.
that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, the whole idea, the whole concept of this is to study what's there, okay? Now, if we were gonna go out and knock on that door, if that property is truly vacant, is it vacant or is it not vacant? What does it show vacant? Now we're gonna look and see if the address where they send the tax bill is the address of the property. All right? What is
I
this?
got just one more tab on there. It shows you the footprint of the house.
Isn't that great?
Yeah,
It's not the room dimensions, but it's the,
outside of the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
So, Terry, so you said we got to make sure that the address of the tax bill is the same as the actual
We're gonna
location?
get to that right now.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
okay, can I just interject something?
Sure.
I don't know what all counties y'all are working in, but they're not all the same,
Okay.
these pages, these property appraiser pages. So, whatever county you're working in, well,
It might look different.
Yeah, Clay County does look different. I looked at it because I've been looking at properties in Clay and St. John's.
Mostly the same information, but
Yeah, correct.
not.
But the tabs,
totally.
the
It could
tabs
be-
are a little
there's Some
different.
differences.
Yeah, the tabs are a little different, but essentially the same, right? You just gotta know how to navigate to it.
They have unpaid taxes.
I missed where you clicked on that, sorry.
Sorry.
Where did you see that?
Okay, all these tabs have that information there. Here's the tax collector. Yeah, the unpaid is a flag.
Where did you see that?
On
Right
the
here,
right
there it
hand
is.
side.
Could you go back and see if 2017's unpaid, or?
Yes, you can go back.
Eligible.
Is that a good flag or a bad flag?
Well, it's good for us, right? I mean, that's a good flag.
Okay,
So they did pay 17.
Well,
so it says paid in 17, but not in 19.
2018 is not paid.
Oh, it's not paid in 18,
Yeah.
okay.
You can see how far back they
This is what we want you to learn how to do.
are. At this
We
page.
want you to pull this up when you come in here, so, print it out, and so we can review it with you, all right? Because it takes a while to learn all this, and that's why I know for a fact that everybody that starts in this business as a real estate agent or an investor should have a good, strong mentor, somebody that knows the pitfalls, because the mistakes here can put you out of the business before you get started. Or it can make you realtors more listings.
The other one that I go to,
On the,
I'm sorry,
can I ask one
Sure.
question? Is it showing the taxes, how much they are?
yes,
Right there, 936, okay.
I'm sorry, was the address the same, the mailing address on the taxes?
Is that it? Yeah, it's the same.
is the house vacant?
Very vacant. But there's a home right beside it, 205, that's listed for sale by owner, and I'm wondering if it's the same owner. But it's pretty much, I mean, it's in need of repair as well, but that 204 is vacant.
Terry, when it comes to ad valorem tax, what's the significant thing we should take away from that as we're looking at ad valorem?
How much is owed?
Yeah.
It's the ad valorem tax.
Yeah, okay,
It's at homestead.
yeah, right,
If it's not homestead,
Okay.
then people apparently don't live in it. And you
Okay.
find some people that live in it and just don't homestead it.
okay,
So they're losing money every time they do that. But
okay.
now you're looking at a copy of the map. Which one is it?
In the center.
This one right here.
Two
Right here.
ties.
204, so maybe the other one's 206.
And you're looking at it left or right?
It's actually right to the right of it in the mailbox, I think said 205.
Click on that
It
page.
should skip a number,
Click on
Oh,
what?
and
unless it's
that's
across
good.
the street.
We're going down a rabbit hole.
No.
Yeah, it should.
All right, you can get an idea what the dimensions are. Does that mean that you don't need a survey? No, not buy anything without a
Yes.
survey. Okay?
Not-
If you do, you're gonna find something that, you're gonna finally bump into one that's got some kind of an encroachment or something about it. So don't use this for a survey.
Especially for
Use it
this.
for purposes that we're talking about, and that's to get some idea what's there, okay?
No, that property is not owned by the same people.
Okay.
It could be the
So-
mailboxes.
So you think
Put
somebody's
on the
living
same
there?
side of the road.
Is that the
And
same
people
address?
across the street have to come across the street to
Who's
get
that?
the mail out.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Explain why you thought that might be owned by the same people.
Well, there was a house beside it that is for sale by owner, and they're so close together, I thought it could be one parcel, and that's not the case, there's not even the same owner. I know, 204 is definitely vacant, there's you can barely see it because of the grass. There's actually a car that's been sitting there for years because the tag on it is expired for years. There's holes in the roof over the garage.
Wow.
Well, it's maybe, doesn't show it's in the state, does it, Faith? Didn't
Going
show.
down a rabbit hole.
No, I'm just asking if
You have a lot of rabbits.
I mean, it's definitely, I would say vacant for sure, or should be condemned if not.
Right.
that's what you're bringing here first.
Yeah. I mean, I see potential in it at the right
Are
price,
the taxes
but
are paid?
No.
Unpaid.
They're not paid. Okay. Now, that sends up all the flags. Now we're looking at, now we're talking, see, and you're talking about taxes aren't paid, got holes in the roof. Is that, would that be a choice property we'd be looking for? The answer to that is probably no. If, depends on the damage to the house, you see. And how much are the taxes? How many years have since they haven't been paid? Okay. Now, we're not going down this rabbit hole either, but when a tax bill, when a tax certificate becomes 2 years old or more, that person can file for a tax deed. Okay. We're not gonna talk about tax deeds today, except that that's a possibility, see, of something we would definitely be looking for. How old are the tax certificates? Let's see, what years were they sold? And she showed you the delinquent taxes. Right, y'all see the reason to be here today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, based on what you're telling me about the physical, and this is why it's so important. You're doing the physical research, we can't, all right? When we get down to the possibility of buying something, then one of us will get the car and drive over there and meet with you and take a look. But in the meantime, right now, we're just doing basic research to determine whether it's worth messing with or not to mess with. Okay? Now, so if it's got one tax certificate is 2 years old or more, then that person holds that tax certificate, filed for a tax deed, which just brings it to a foreclosure sale, okay? Another animal, but it's just an indication that there's a real problem there, or there may be a real problem there, so. All right? Now, what have you found out so far? You found out that this property is owned by, you found out the owner of the property, you found out there's a tax ID number, okay? You found out that the tax bill is being mailed to that location. There's no homestead on this, Faith. We want to check the homestead now.
Yes.
Something's wrong if the people haven't homesteaded it, but they're supposedly still living there. It is
It
homestead.
is homestead.
People are living there apparently, if they're not lying, okay? And
They're-
about
or they're
homestead.
gone.
And so, but
Like Castley.
homestead's not automatic, you know, but anyway, how delinquent are the taxes? Only 1 year? Okay.
Yep, just one.
So it's not ready for a tax deed sale. Can't do that. So it's not ready for property appraisers. Reassessment, or it's amazing that it's homesteaded. Somebody must live there or have lived there recently to have it homesteaded. Now, so these are why you look this up. Now, all right. So it's only 2018 taxes
Yes.
delinquent, all right? So that's not uncommon, and so it's not that. Now, Faith, can you look at how much, does it show when they bought it, if they put a mortgage on it at that time? And that, I don't mean that it real change of title,
No,
I'm
I
just
have to go
talking about.
into the clerk of the court, do a new search.
Okay. All right, if we determine this was something that we were interested in pursuing, then we would have to do a lot of research to find out about it. And Faith knows how to do that, and that's the next class you're gonna learn. Not today, as we're gonna talk about how to research it further, how to find out what is owed on it, find out exactly, you say, you can find out. and that's, would be the next thing. Any tax liens against it, any IRS liens against it, any mortgages against it? Is it a first mortgage, is it a second mortgage? Exactly what? Is the status, you see. You wanna know what the status of this property is, as close as you can find out. And we don't have to leave the computer to find out, okay? You in the field are critical to it because you're gonna do it. And when you do it, my advice to you is take pictures of it, okay? Now, how do you tell if the house is vacant? Well, when you go up, knock on the door, and you have to walk through the grass on this side, the weeds, typically it may be vacant. But it may not. Once you see that you're sure the house is vacant, then one way to tell is to walk by the meter and make sure that it's not running and looks like the power's off. That's one way to do it. Now, I'm just telling you in the field. So you're looking, and then you're gonna look at this information, and we're gonna start to formulate an idea, a concept about it, and then the realtors have an advantage. If you don't have one, you're gonna have to get one, somebody we can work with, because you gotta have current market information, okay? Current market information. Now, Faith can do a CMA here, sitting right here and do it. Part of your training will be how to do a CMA. All right, that'll be one of the lessons that we teach. All right, but we're not there yet. Now we're just trying to find out who owns the property, what is the circumstances of the property, when did they buy it, how long have they owned it? All right? Is it, do they live in the property? I mean, these are all important questions. Is the property homesteaded? All right? Homestead has a meaning in itself. Homestead rights, you say, have a meaning in itself. So when a husband and a wife live in a property, maybe in one's name, may not be in the other's name, but if they have the homestead rights, you see, they have some legal right to regardless. And so you can't sell your homestead typically without the joinder of your wife or significant other or whoever there is co-occupying that house with you. So those are just different things. But anyway, that was one. All right, found out some information about it. Typically the people must live there, okay? You need to go back and check and knock on the door now. The next step is going to be up to you to find out if somebody really truly lives there or not, okay? Now, all right, do one of yours.
I have one, it's going to auction next week. It'll be gone, I'm sure.
Go to auction,
Next week, 25th.
huh?
25th.
Set for foreclosure auction?
Courthouse?
I'm assuming so.
No, it's
You wanna look at it?
It's St. John's County now.
It's on the auction site.
Well, let's take one that's not on the auction site, okay? Because, yeah,
Can you find a contact phone number for the owner anywhere on the appraiser's website? That's gotta be down to the
It's usually an
forestry store.
address.
Phone numbers are difficult at many times.
there's a world champion sitting right over there teaching. We just found an unusual one. I think maybe I mentioned to you in the last class. The guy filed bankruptcy 10 years ago. The house is still sitting there. It's still in his name. And all of a sudden, after 10 years, he gets served with a lawsuit. It's a foreclosure. Foreclosure is going to count against his credit regardless, even though he filed bankruptcy 10 years ago to clean that up. The house has been sitting there for 10 years, and it's still in his name. Okay? He doesn't have any personal liability because he included it in his bankruptcy, but he does have, it's going to be a significant ding on his credit, which they don't tell you that, you see, and this is not a fair thing. So, but anyway, it's a possibility of something else to happen on that particular property. So,
The ones that I found all have the signs in the window and.
that's good.
Foreclosure.
Let me
Once they vacate them, then the
Yeah,
the-
yeah,
the service companies come in and they put those signs in the
Right.
window.
So if it states it's a foreclosure, it's something good to look into?
Doesn't mean that yet. It means
Well,
it's-
you can try,
You can still look it up.
276. Yeah. 276, Porto, P-O-R-T-O, Rosa, R-O-S-A, Circle.
Porto or Porto?
It's,
276,
Rosa.
Right there.
Porto.
right there.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Arabella? That road name sounded familiar. Lives in Arizona.
Now, you see that the address of the property and the address of the people are not the same address, okay? Which means that the property is sitting there vacant.
Yeah.
So it means, here's what it means. No matter whether it's in foreclosure or it's not in foreclosure, what it means is that the fact is that these people still own this property. All right, I want you to make sure y'all understand that. Most realtors, the customer gets served with a lawsuit, and they freak out and they go pull the sign up and cancel the listing.
Yeah.
But what I'm telling y'all is, this means there's problems with this property, these people have a problem, but they own it, all right? Now, can they convey good title? We don't know that, and we're not getting there today, all right? But that's ultimately what we need to do, is find out all the way down. This one, I think Faith has already done the research on it. But anyway, you can see, so the owner of property lives in a post office box in Scottsdale, Arizona. We don't know where they might be, period,
Right.
you know? And, but they may have it rented out. They may have it rented out and collect the rent, and, you know. So it's all kind of things. Is the house vacant? I don't know if it's vacant or not. You have to go out and knock on the door now to find out it's vacant. You do know one thing, that it's, they don't live there, technically, all right? You got the address?
Okay. You can see it's set up different.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
I got it. Back up here. Parcel ID number is there.
Each one of these will take on a life of its own. Each one of them are different, and that's why you can't make broad judgments about it. You have to do the research on an individual basis if you're going to do this business, all right? And here's what some people do. They get the paralysis of analysis, okay? And maybe you got a dozen to work on, and you're so focused on that one, you're gonna make that one work. And some of this may be at times, so you don't ignore it, but we go to a certain point with it. Like, one thing we could do today, just an activity we could do today, we could send those people a letter today, okay? All right, now, that's one. Or we send them a letter as a realtor, or we send them a letter as a buyer, or we send them a letter as both, okay? We have two hats. I wear two hats, but we disclose, like I told you before, right? Now, we don't know if that house is anything that we'd be interested in buying. We know it's in a good location. We know it's a real resaleable location. We don't know what the condition of the house is. We don't know what the condition of the title is. All we know is you found a house. And now we started a basic research. Now, Faith, is it homesteaded or anything? What else do you see up there?
Total exemptions, 0.
So it's not homesteaded. Okay, so the people are not there. Typically, they're not there. All right? Doesn't mean it's not rented, but nobody's, you know, so you gotta find out. All right, now we see how big it is. It's big, it's 2,400 square feet. It's a single-family residence.
Yeah, it tells you different information in each county's property appraiser in Putnam County, they tell you bedrooms and baths. Here, they only tell you bathrooms because it has to do with the permitting, I guess.
Well, sometimes if they don't have a closet, it's not a room, but they sometimes count them as rooms,
Yeah, see, they don't tell you, you know, the interior. Okay, so, up here's the map of the property. If you double click on it, you can get that. Here are the dimensions, which, you take off the aerial, you can see it better.
Okay.
This gives you the flood map, which may or may not be a concern. These are the addresses.
Flood map's a very big deal, okay?
This is the
It's-
parcel number. You can,
Especially in Florida.
you can do all kinds of, you know, fancy stuff with it.
Cool.
You zoom out, you can see where it is in relation to major roads. They all work like that now. Well, the ones I work in do. This up here will tell you what the legend is for the flood map. So, but it's not gospel either.
Okay.
They've changed the flood, zones, yeah, the flood maps, yeah. Well, I don't know about frequently, but they just recently did. Okay. Okay. This is the assessment history. More about the structure. There's a garage, there's 2 stories to it. So, and then here's the, here's the,
It's all for 2 million.
Yeah.
What?
What? Yeah,
No,
two,
that's a typo.
that's when Lennar,
It's probably the whole.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
the whole,
development.
the whole property.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What?
Drop the value a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll
Oh, it
see-
says over there, sale includes 43 lots, says to the far right,
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
That's typically in a subdivision,
Yeah.
you'll find that the first, the last, you know, look at the one on the bottom, the first entry, will be when
just answered your question, didn't
when they
Okay,
bought the
When you go back
whole
up to-
land.
okay.
You go back up, it looks like they bought the property for $100.
Yes, that's what I'm
Okay.
thinking of.
What's going
It's
on?
100,000, what is that?
No, it's 100.
$100, okay.
Yes.
What that means is somebody quit claimed it to them, all right? Somebody, it's either an heir, or maybe it was just
Donated.
to clear up something, an error. Sometimes they make a scrivener's error in the typing in the deed or whatever. So something was there. Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
we
didn't
get,
see that. Oh, okay. Oh,
I was at a foreclosure sale, I gotta just tell you this quick story because that's funny. I was at a foreclosure sale one time and this elderly man and woman came walking by and they put the property up for bid and nobody bid and sold $100. And went back to the bank.
Oh my gosh.
I told you to buy that house, I told you to get that house for $100.
Oh my gosh.
She
Oh
said,
my
I
goodness.
told you I wanted that house, they just sold that house for $100. And they didn't, they did not.
Wow.
Yeah, or they
Give them
didn't.
2.
Oh,
It
okay.
didn't really.
That's what they do when they kind of give it back.
The mortgage company got it back, nobody bid.
Okay.
So if a mortgage company's owed $200,000, so they go down there and nobody bids, and they bid $100, they get it back and they only have to pay stamps on $100, not on the $200,000.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, your stamp fee changes.
So there's always a method in somebody's madness.
Yes.
Right, okay.
But this is a good house and a good location. We don't know the condition of it. We don't know if it's anything that's buyable or not buyable or viable or even I'd say it's a much better chance of being a listing for an agent than it is for for us something to buy. But we don't know that yet, okay? But I'm just saying that's why it's so important here. You can wear 2 hats,
I
if you
know
will,
that- and
but
that
you have to
neighborhood,
dispose.
Their fees are very high, so they have a hard time selling that neighborhood.
What?
Their fees are very high, their CDD is very
Yeah.
high, their HOA is very high.
Yeah. They're
So
selling them though.
That's why I
even
won't
though
buy
they're
there.
big houses, they know
Right.
the prices are low because people can't qualify because all those fees.
Well, you're gonna run into all kinds of circumstances, and that's what I'm telling you, and that's why I showed you this one this morning that we closed today, was bought months ago for $25,000, okay? It was a good buy at 25, but it took a lot of money to make it worth more than 25, frankly. And so it had the bones, it had the structure, and it was worth doing. And so, and we knew the market. Because the other thing is, part of this, you have to learn what you're going to sell it for, okay? How are you going to convince me in Middleburg, Florida, that investors should put money in a house? And that's the whole point of what we're showing you. I gave you a copy of the deal killer form, okay? Now, when you take that deal killer form and you apply the numbers necessary to buy that property, to buy it, to hold it, okay, to fix it, and to sell it, and then what's left over has to equal the return on the investment. Otherwise, and that's why this course is designed to take it in steps and phases here with you. You know, it's really a 40-hour course, and I'm pushing you guys along faster than we normally would go, okay? Because you're in the field and you're doing the field work. If you don't do the field work, you don't get invited back to the next meeting. I mean, that's just the way it is, right? So that's how we do it. All right.
So
Give us another one. And
can I just clarify
Yeah.
a question? You said this is probably better as a listing. And how did you come to that conclusion so quick?
well, we're familiar, you know.
Oh, okay, okay. That was just years of knowledge, 40
But-
years of knowledge.
But maybe not,
50,
maybe
whatever.
not, you see. I mean, it's still, you gotta do further research. The next
Okay.
thing we gotta find out what's owed on it. And the same way, what is owed on it? We don't know, you see.
Okay.
How about the taxes on this race? Sometimes the taxes are paid. Doesn't mean the people are paying the taxes. It means that somebody else paid the taxes,
Right.
even the bank,
Somebody-
the lending
Oh.
institution paid the taxes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're paying.
Uh,
Yeah.
Taxes are paid?
No exemptions.
59.
Okay. So,
Minor.
That's crazy.
all right, so this just goes to show you that the taxes now are $6,900. And so, even if it was homestead, it would still be very high taxes. Now, if you got CDD fees and all that, you gotta check, see if they're delinquent, you see, because all that is a lien against the property. And you have to check that, and that's why we begin here to see, we find out, all right? Now we're just doing it, getting started. Now, in this particular house, if we were gonna do it, and really pursue it, I'd have Faith click over and go to the clerk of the court, she knows how to do it, well, look it up, and let's see what's owed on the property, all right? Is it in foreclosure? Faith, is it an LP file? No LP? Okay.
I don't know just yet.
All right, well then, it's not homesteaded. You rode by it and you thought it was vacant?
It looked pretty vacant,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
We
I would think
walked
it's
up there.
vacant from what I see,
Yeah, we
Okay.
walked up there.
that it's not being appropriate, huh?
I think there, I can't remember if that one had a sign on it.
Stuff in the windows?
I can't remember, I got pictures of all of them, but
Okay.
it'd take me a minute to match the
Right.
address.
Well, all right. We'll meet again in another week or two. I want y'all to go home and do this on every one of yours. If you got some question about it, pick up the phone and call us. You know, we wanna make sure that you get this. Give us an address on one of yours.
Mine would be Clay County.
Let me ask you a question. Oh. Tom, did you have some door hangers printed? You got some?
Yes.
Can you get some? Let me show, just show.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
I did a very simple one, you
Well,
can make
Scott,
it pretty
did you
elaborate, but
get
I've got.
door, you got door hangers. All right, get some, let me see it. You gotta have business cards made, and you gotta have door hangers made. The door hangers, go there, knock on the door, And I hope, pray there's nobody there. No, I'm kidding.
Right, don't come on.
Knock on the door. You didn't really want to talk to anybody. You were scared to death. But you leave a door hanger. And my brother David is not here this morning. He works with us. He's a past master. He's the best at it I've ever seen. Okay? He would knock on every door.
This is mainly so I can write a little note on it, depending on what I see. Write a note that I would like to talk to him,
Give him.
ask him to call me. You can be more elaborate. You can put a lot more information on there, but the main thing was I just wanted to have a place to write a note to tell him I was there,
Cool.
and I'd like
That's
to talk
good.
to him.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
You
good.
poke it out, it goes over the door handle. Handle of the door. All right, now that's very good. And so that serves as a business card as well, or can. Leave both. Leave business card stuck in the door and that on the, so Jerry did his and he spent more money on it, but it's nice.
You
But
print
it's-
these or you buy them?
I think one's as effective as the other.
Actually, I printed,
Thanks, Jerry.
I bought the
The
stocks,
Yep.
and it came with a little
Nice.
program that you could use to print.
Gotcha,
Make
yeah.
it
Came with a
all-
printing app.
Mhm.
But pass those around because those are important. Now, here's what, we're gonna look up one in Clay County,
Yes.
and then I want everybody to get some form of communication that you leave on the door, okay? It can be door hangers, it can be your card, but I recommend the door hangers. A lot of people that pay attention to the card, they get a lot of realtor cards,
They get lost in
okay?
the wind.
And, but this, you go by there and leave it on the door.
So,
You'll be surprised, yes,
what doors are we naming this on?
The vacant.
vacant house
The
doors,
vacant.
But
doors that
nobody's
you knock
there.
on, huh?
But nobody's there.
Somebody might come by.
Somebody might
Okay.
visit. Okay. I'll take the chance.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, I had a call on one like that where it was inherited by a daughter who didn't live there, but she was checking on the house periodically. And she did actually answer it, but she just wanted to tell me that she was going to keep the house, but
Oh,
if she ever decided to sell it, she would call me.
nice.
All right, you're knocking on the door, okay? You're gonna find out, especially if they don't live there. That's an important. If the house is vacant and they don't live there, it's probably not gonna get that phone call because they may be out of town, but it might. Now, let me tell you the greatest resource about vacant houses is the nosy next door neighbors.
Yeah.
They know where these people are, okay? And they might not be nosy, it might just be friends. I mean, go there and knock on the door. If they're vacant and nobody's there, go to the neighbor, ask them if they know how to get in touch with them. The hunt is the biggest deal. Hunting the people, finding them is the most difficult part of that part. All right, now, so everybody gonna go back and knock on their doors? You're gonna get something in hand that you can give out, and you're gonna knock on these doors? And you're gonna continue to find the vacant houses, and you're gonna continue to build your list, and you're gonna continue, all right? And so, here's what I don't ever want to hear. If you're gonna ever say this to me, please spare yourself the wrath is, don't say, I tried 10, it didn't work for me. The business didn't work for me.
Not in my
Bad
vocabulary.
words. No, you didn't work for the business. You gave up. You quit. The business didn't quit. You quit. Okay? You gave up. You probably were just one more door away from buying one. So I'm just saying, I don't want to insult anybody, but I'm just saying every once in a while, I got a little old girl right now. We're trying to help her husband. We love them. They're the sweetest people in the world. I sent her out. She signed 11 letters, got 2 responses. They weren't really of any quality. And the last time I talked to her, she said, well, I've sent out 11 or 12 letters now, it just didn't work for me, okay?
Should've made it
And,
20.
So, I'm just telling you, don't do that. If you're gonna do this, there's gonna have some ups and downs. Yes,
Let me ask, and I've started this book, and it might be in this book, but not being a realtor or licensed or anything, how how do you initiate that conversation and how do you introduce yourself?
You
Or
introduce-
what do you introduce yourself as?
You introduce yourself as a real estate investor.
Okay,
That's what you are, okay? You get some cards printed up saying, my name is a real estate investor, here's my phone number.
okay.
All right, do that immediately. All right, and now, when you get into the conversation with the person, you can tell them, first of all, you're an independent contractor, and you are, okay? Everybody in this room is an independent contractor. Now, these guys that are licensed with our company, they have a responsibility to the company as well as to the public, obviously, all right? Now, if you don't have that relationship, when we get down to making a possible offer or deal, if we're gonna be involved in it, then we're gonna make we're going to disclose that we are realtors, okay? And so that's a requirement. We don't get very far away from that ever. So that's what I'm saying to you. Now, you know, you don't have a license, you don't have that requirement. You can say that I have some mentors that are teaching and training me that are very experienced in the business, which will help give you some credibility to what you're doing, all right? And that's what all of us have to do. Why did y'all come here last week, and why did you listen to this, and why did you come back today? Mainly because of the credibility that we have and the experience that we have in the business. And that's what, tell you about that. But anyway, so you've got to build your credibility. One of the ways you have of building your credibility is my mentors are experienced realtors and investors and developers and whatever else you want to say. But you can say that, and you can name that if you want to. But if you do that, then you have to make sure that when we get involved, that they're aware that we're realtors, because we won't go any further than that, okay? So, good part about what you say is I'm not here for listing. I'm interested, I'm looking for some properties to buy, okay? And, because you get right away, say, oh no, I got a realtor friend, say, no, we're not here to get the listing, we're here. Now, if you're a realtor, and you're talking to the same person, and I say, my name's Terry Pacetti, I'm a realtor and investor. We have a group of wholesale buyers that buy real estate wholesale. If you're interested in wholesaling a property, that's good, or if I can help you as a realtor, I'd be glad to do that. Whichever you choose, you have choices, okay? That's a powerful statement now. You're telling them you make the choice. And we have I'm an auctioneer, so we can real estate auction your property. All right, we can list and sell your property, we're in MLS, we're in all these things, and this is how we go about marketing it. What is your choice? All right, just had a lady, just told you all the story last week. She did not want to list her property for sale, she wanted to sell it, all right? She wanted to sell it, she had a certain amount of money she wanted to get out of it. I told her that the property was worth more than that. I made her sign a statement that we told her that the property was worth more than that, and she still wanted to do it for a quick closing, all right? She didn't want to list it, she didn't want to show it, she didn't want any more tenants, she was sick of the property. Right? But it paid off her mortgage.
There's an
Well,
online company that just rolled out that buys your house wholesale
Oh, there's-
online,
Hundreds, thousands.
That's
Oh.
all, yeah.
and they just buy it.
Yeah.
But then they make you pay to hold it.
They don't offer very much either.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, I just saw it.
The RO
So
form,
the people are getting
you've
that
got,
idea.
you've got to figure out on this form, I hope y'all kept this form,
Oh, yeah.
okay?
Yes.
You got A lead, B lead, and C lead. Now, when you take that form that we talked about just momentarily, and you're going to make a deal, you're gonna make something that makes money, all right? What kind of return on investment would an investor be looking for, and how do the numbers fit in here, all right? Do they fit? So, first of all, when you look for the house, and we're gonna buy it, and that investor just wants to sell it, they don't want, that homeowner wants to sell it, they don't want to list it, they don't want to go through all that, possibly. Others are in foreclosure, and they have a certain amount of time, they have a time limit on it, they have motivation to do it, and that's why Faith is just, we research every foreclosure that's filed in St. Johns County, okay? She's got a list, I think I showed them to y'all. We've got 250 that's been filed since November of 2018. That means there are thousands in the process here, Many of them are in the most affluent areas of this county, which is shocking to most people, but that's the fact. So right away, when you think about foreclosure, oh, that's down here in the, you know, in some other area, in the lower area, but it's not. It's not. Half of these foreclosures, at least, are in World Golf Village North. And so, I'm just telling you that, nobody's immune to this thing. That's why we approach it from all angles, and we've learned all of the ways to hopefully find a property that we help a lot of people save their property. You know, that's one thing we do. We help a lot of people get equity out of the property that would sit there and lose it. Now let me tell you a shocking statistic, and this to me is a shock. 90-some% of the people that are filed into foreclosure never list their property for sale.
Yes, why do they do that?
They got their head stuck in the sand, okay?
Denied.
I think
Or not enough knowledge about what they can.
Rich grandmother's gonna die and leave, gonna bail me out. I got a guy right now,
Oh, my goodness.
he was gonna lose his property that very day for tax sale. I got a friend that put up the money to pay his taxes off. Got a deed to the property. My friend bought the property from him, gave him a 90-day option to buy it back. Of course, the friend was gonna make some money off of it, but still, it was a really deal. That guy has monkeyed around with that for 3 months, and as of yesterday, he still had not gotten the money, and I could have gotten the money for it, got him a mortgage in the first 2 weeks. I kept telling him, I don't know what he's thinking. He about lost it for taxes. Now, if he doesn't exercise this option, he has lost it.
Wow.
Now, what does the people think? I mean, I would have said, I can't get the money, let's sell it.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Let's sell the property, will you sell the property and, you know, whatever, something.
Yeah.
No, he told me the story after story. My mother-in-law's gonna give us the money, not a problem. Mother-in-law's gonna give us the money, all right? Oh, my wife's gone down to Palm Beach and mother-in-law's gonna give her the money, all right? Oh, now she's changed her mind, but that's okay because now one of her uncles is gonna give her the money. A week ago, he called me up and said, the money's in the bank, as soon as the check clears, I'll bring you a check, and yesterday he told me, oh God, my sister-in-law told my mother-in-law to stop paying on the check, and they stopped paying on the check.
So what do you, I mean, obviously you're dealing with a personality problem here. Do you just cut them off?
I'm trying to help him.
Yeah, I know you are, but.
And so,
Once the
but
property's
I may
gone,
not
then
be,
you're
I may not be able to help him,
Yeah,
but I'm done with it.
okay.
He's either, you know, I don't wanna call the guy a liar,
Well,
but somebody was
something's
jerking his
going
chain
on.
or, you
Yeah.
know, whatever. But you run into all kinds, is my point. But in the meantime, no sign on the property, not up for sale, and could lose the property in a week from now. On the first of the month, he could lose, I mean, the property's gone. He has an option to buy it back. It's a $200,000 property. He only owed $37,000.
Oh, Lord. Oh,
Okay?
man.
What a nutcake.
Wow.
And a friend, he's a nutcake friend.
Oh, wow.
So I'm just telling you this because buyers are liars, sellers are liars. When you deal with people, you're not gonna know the truth until you dig the truth out and you put it down in black and white. And if it doesn't fit on that sheet, unless you gotta add a couple of things, there's no CDDs on that fee, on a couple of other things, all right? But if it doesn't fit on that sheet and the bottom line doesn't look, we are not going to do it. I don't care how pretty you think it is and how well you love it, we're not gonna do it.
That's
You-
good.
yes.
So what's the target then for investors' return on investment? I mean, what is it good or bad?
Well, we're looking at a $20,000 minimum profit on the cheapest deal we can find, okay? Each one's different. So it goes up, you're looking for an investor, first of all, they're gonna make interest on their money, okay? So that's part of the return on investment. And it's the cost on our sheet, all right? Then on the bottom line over here is the profit margin, and I gave you 3 sheets. One is an A lead, B lead, and C lead. We're not gonna buy a B lead, and we're not gonna buy a C lead. Does that mean that B leads and C leads aren't good? They may be good listings for a realtor. But when we run those bottom line numbers, if that is not real and that doesn't work, guess what? We're going back up here where it says, what are you paying for it? We're gonna pay less for it, or if some people can't sell it for less, they just want out of it, it's a mortgage. We're gonna go back to the mortgage company, we're gonna try to deal with the mortgage company, we're gonna try something different, you see? And that's what you learn from all this, is how the power of negotiation is a powerful tool. All right? But you gotta have your facts right, you gotta have your information right. That's why I had somebody tell me, oh, I already know all that. That's what he told me. That's one of the guys was here last week. I knew all that. Don't come in my class and say that.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Don't come in my class and say that.
Yeah.
I want this to know the
Blank
bottom
slate,
line.
man.
All right?
Yes.
Right.
All right, seriously.
Clean slate.
Because so far, are you getting anything out of this?
Yes.
Right, you understand?
Yes.
Property appraiser sheet, we're looking for who owns it, how much did they pay for it, when did they buy it, all right? What taxes are due, what's the size of the property, where is it, what's the location, is it a paved road, is it a dirt road, is it water, is it sewer? I mean, we got a lot of questions to ask, and, you say. Are we getting there?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Now, this is,
Clay County. We didn't do Clay County yet.
we didn't do yours, Clay County. Go,
You're
Clay
right.
County. Good
Yes,
enough.
ma'am.
Quit talking.
It's a little bit similar to Putnam County.
Is it-
Okay. 4315. Lazy Acres Road. There you go.
Is that in the Keystone Heights?
Middleburg.
Is it in the sex offender area too?
I'm sure it is. There's so many red dots, I tell you.
I'm gonna slip out.
That's an interesting parcel.
Ellery can't take it through.
We had one like that last week, didn't we, Tom, where that little extra piece of property on it?
And it's separated by a little piece of land that's
Yeah.
not theirs.
It's
Yeah.
a-
It
It
blows
could
my
be an
mind.
easement.
Yeah, drainage or a lot, in Clay County, the county likes you to separate everything by at least 5 feet in case they have to run.
Right.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
why it'll pop
Probably,
up that way.
It's so small, it's probably an easement.
Okay, that's the property address. And here's the ownership. And
Same address.
same address.
Nice.
It's like a lot of land, is it?
Yes.
Is there a house?
3
3
acres.
acres.
Yeah, it was something I was like, I'll trade them.
I don't see the house.
Trade you.
Trade you houses.
Parcel account number is here,
Was it on
similar to,
paved road?
It was paved. Yeah,
That's
it
good.
was nice. This was one of my
I
favorites.
looked up some of the Keystone Heights, or I guess you'd say this side of Keystone. And it was, the road was so bad.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
several lots for sale, but you really couldn't get to them.
So
The
that'd
dirt
be-
road was all washed
So
out.
the county's not maintaining it, they gotta pay
Yeah.
somebody, the residents pay somebody.
I have a minivan and a lot of these roads that I went down, they were like, you should have been in a truck kind of a thing. The kids loved it.
That's a big issue in
It is.
Bell. is
Yeah,
the-
I
who
went and
maintains
bought
the
it.
road?
A lot of times they won't tell you that.
Yeah, exactly,
They don't know yet.
exactly.
Who'll ever pay?
Nobody.
Yeah, exactly, you can tell nobody.
What'd we find?
these parcel account numbers, Putnam County and Clay. I don't think Duval does it, St. John's does it, but what they're showing you, see the section township and range down here? They're showing you as a preface to the parcel account number, the section township and range. When I first started working with these other structures of parcel account number, it threw me off because I was used to St. John's, which is 6 and then
Oh,
dash and
together.
then 4 digits. So, that's what that is, and sometimes it'll help you locate the property too, more specifically, because you're, looking in the right place. I know these people.
Oh, what? It's family, sounded like
So I found a good one.
It's going good.
Sorry.
Yeah,
they're fine.
alright. Okay,
You probably know a lot of people though, I mean,
I recognize names.
Yeah,
That's
the
us.
names,
Sold in 2017 for
probably not a
190.
surprise.
Okay, so, the warranty date is here, 2017. These are what I call hot links. And, sometimes if they do it correctly, it'll take you straight to that document in the
Okay.
public records.
Okay.
Sometimes. Sometimes they
If it's
didn't
up to
quite
date.
take, yeah. One of the things we didn't do, St. John's has this also, recent sales in the area, this is where you can check comps. We do, well, when I do comps for Terry, I do it in that multiple listing, but then I also go here, because there's a lot of properties that don't go through our multiple listings that, they are picked up here.
Mhm.
Okay, and, okay, here's the tax bill here. And they keep changing these sites around to improving them, really, so, no exemptions on here.
No,
so it's not homestead.
Yeah, it's completely vacant.
Um,
Taxes due on it. Yeah. Just a bit.
Thanks, we appreciate it. All right, thank you.
Let's see what we got here. Is there a house on this?
Yes, ma'am. It's in the woods there.
It's saying that it's vacant property.
Steve, I have the one.
As
But
far as the
the
building
3
itself.
acres wouldn't be worth 190,000,
No,
Not in Middleburg.
not
Or so.
many places unless you're on
Yeah, so there's gotta be a structure there, I would think.
I wanna say I took a picture of it.
Okay,
But
so
that's
Does
there's-
it give you a view from a road? Do you click on a road
The aerial?
and look at it from a road?
No,
Like
you
no.
can't do it in here, you have to go to Google and do
Okay.
that.
Google Maps.
Yeah.
Is there a house on it?
That's strange.
We're trying to find it.
Is there a different view of non-satellite? Yeah, there you go.
Huh.
Yeah, everything that I picked up on, or wrote down had houses and I took pictures. Trying to see if I have the pictures with me.
It's a nice big lot compared to all the other ones.
Kids everywhere.
Did you see any evidence of horse barns or anything?
Not that I recall. Yeah, not that I recall. Not on this road. There was a few of them. I got everything on this road that I could find.
Can you see the flood map on there? Because it looks like it's close to water too.
It's a AE, which, what's an AE flood?
Probably in the flood zone. We're considered in the flood zone, and we're not
Yeah.
too far from there, but we're the only ones that did not flood. We're actually on top of a hill.
Is it on
Everything
stilts?
around us.
The house, is it on stilts?
Not this one, I believe. It is a two-story. No, you know what? It could have been on stilts.
Sometimes your
Trying to find a
garage is
picture.
still under, but
Under,
it's
yeah.
actually on stilts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of these
So you don't
have
get the
where you
living
could pull
space,
right
yeah.
underneath of it.
Mhm.
Well, I can't find this picture.
Okay, well, they're not
Is this
showing,
It's not part of Black Creek, is it?
Not that
The
I'm,
yellow
not that I'm
there
aware
is
of.
zone X.
Give us one on
That's-
the lot where the
Give you another
house
one?
is there. This is
South
for-
end of
this is
Well,
for-
Red Creek.
This is just for teaching purposes.
She thinks
South.
there's a house there, but it's not,
South of
It's
it's
Middleburg.
not giving us, there's
There's a lot
no
of
plot
flooding along
plan
the
here.
flood.
Give us another one, please.
Whenever you're ready.
Right,
Could
One-
run into all kind of complicated situations with some of this stuff, okay? And so for this morning, for the
Keep it
time that we
simple.
have, I
Yeah.
wanna take another.
131. Sorrel, Sorrel Street.
I know that street, babe.
yeah,
You know that one.
My neck of the woods.
see here, the property use code, on that previous one, it said here that it was vacant. This one, the property use code says mobile home. If
Okay.
there's a single-family residence, it'll say
Single
single
family.
family. See, that's what I was looking at, that's why I was wondering what was there.
Okay.
Well, there's a follow-up for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, did you see this one, though, that was in,
And most of it's in a,
which one I said?
it's not in a flood zone.
I'm
Because
gonna make that
X
change.
is,
X is not,
In the
it's
flood
not,
zone.
Right,
it's
X is
got a
good.
little bit of the AE in it.
What is AE again?
wet.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's a flood zone.
Well,
Yes,
it's a
okay.
flood zone.
Yes or no?
There's
What
a
is-
100-year, then there's the AE, which is worse than a 100-year flood zone.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What is X?
Outside the 500-year floodplain.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm really worried about buying a house that's gonna last for 500 years.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not,
Take that gamble.
Right.
it's this lot right here,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
That's it.
Definitely not level.
Okay. Sorry.
That house
It does.
Okay, there's a mobile home. Okay, this gives you some of the dimensions on the lot, but, well, you can see it's an odd configuration, so it's not gonna be, but the frontage is 63 and it's 600 feet deep, but I wonder where they got that, going straight back or going around the corner, but.
Yeah, 600 feet.
It's an older mobile home. Says it has a deck. Says it has a septic and a well.
Doesn't distinguish single or double, does it, Faith?
I thought it was a double.
It will.
Yeah, 1,512 square feet be a lot to get a single one.
Yeah. Mine's
And
about 2,100.
tells you bedrooms and bathrooms and stories and all that.
And there's that sale price, 2 years ago, 27,000.
The real estate company owns it now.
Somebody brought it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Valuation. There's the plot plan. See, that plot plan wasn't on the other one.
Yeah. I'll have to go back by on my way home and just do a follow-up on it.
See,
No,
now you can look under Magnolia Real Estate Company, you could put that in the ownership line, you can find out if they own other properties. They are probably some investment company that's buying up these things over there and fixing them up and doing what we're doing.
no taxes on it. And it was completely empty. So that leads you to the further investigation of why
Where's
it's
their
empty and
address?
it's paid. This is the Sorrel address,
Where's the tech property?
Middleburg.
Middleburg,
Yeah, but
131.
Where's the property appraiser? So it's not the same address, so they don't live there, that's the point. But
Oh.
now the owners is telling you where the owners live, or where they are. Scroll it down, Faith, where the,
And Middleburg is the real estate company.
okay?
when you see a real estate listed like that, kind of walk away from it?
No,
No?
we don't know
Okay.
who that, we don't know who that is, that's not, we don't know if they're a real estate brokerage company or what, but they own the property, so it
Sure.
doesn't matter. Now, you could pick up the phone, call them up and ask them if they want to sell it, okay?
Yeah.
And, so if they do, I mean, we know that they recently bought it, and we know, I mean, we don't know that if they've rehabbed it, you know, that's why you gotta find out more stuff in the field. Have they rehabbed it, they're gonna put it back up on the market for sale, you know, would they flip it, would they take, you know, whatever, so. But at least you know, they don't live there, that's an important thing, you know, the worst thing in the world is getting somebody in and losing their house, and poor little children, oh my God, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's pretty rough, good stuff, you know.
Yeah, especially when you can do something to get help.
That's a good one to follow up and find out more about.
Oh, yeah.
And get more information about it, you see. It's, when did they buy it, Faith?
2017?
So, what, they've owned it since 2017?
Yeah, just 2 years.
Now, if they're not rehabbing it, that just means that they bought it,
Yeah.
okay? And if they're not rehabbing it, that's a good thing. And what'd they pay for it, 22,000?
27.
Okay, $27,000. Would they take $10,000 profit? I don't know, you know, would they take a $5,000 profit, would they take a $1,000 profit?
Right.
What will they do? You know, that's when I can help you, it's with the negotiation part of it.
Okay.
As soon as we find out, do they want to sell?
Right.
There's no for sale sign on it though, right?
Nope.
It's just sitting there vacant? Is the
Vacant.
weeds growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, praise the Lord, hallelujah.
Oh, yeah. I'll start low. You want to make $100 on it? You want
Let me know it.
That's me.
Thank God for the weeds.
Yeah. If it's coming out of the pocket, I start low. If it's coming in, I start high.
That's right.
So, anyway, all I'm
They
saying
might have
is
plans
that
to
is
rent
a-
it even.
that is a
Yeah.
good possibility, and if you can get us a phone number for them,
Yeah.
I could call them up with you, okay? You go back by there and take a look, see if you can get in the house, all right?
Would this be one of the
Take it.
scenarios where you would say buy some, keep some, buy some, sell some? Would this be a keeper possibly?
No, no keeper
Definitely
for me.
sell it?
I'm-
Okay.
I'm in no keeping mood.
Hey, I'm with you. Let's sell, sell, sell.
I don't have any investors that want to buy and rent anything out, and I don't want
Okay.
to, I don't want to personally own anything else, so I want to buy these things and sell them,
Yeah.
and just make money.
Okay.
This is strictly for making money.
Yeah,
Will we change our mind? Sure.
yeah,
You know,
because I'm gonna need
you
to
know,
keep some.
But I want y'all to do it.
Yeah,
I want you to do
absolutely.
the 10-10 thing. 10 years would be like, about the time my 10 years would be up, my recent stent in my
Your
heart
stent.
will be worn out, so according to the doctor, he said.
Did y'all do that mobile home on South Francis? I saw it got rehabbed. I wanted to buy that. Do you know where South Francis is?
Oh, yeah,
Did y'all rehab that?
no,
Okay.
no, never done that one. You guys, what you did was sending me the 85 leads. That's a powerful thing. To follow up from today is up to you. Here's all I'm asking you to do. I'm not asking you to be the out-of-town expert today. What I want you to do is I want you to print out a property appraiser sheet on all of your leads. This is your next assignment. When you have those done, where we can analyze them, then I want you to call me. Now, each one of you will have a go-to person in my office to work with. And in your case, it's gonna be Tom, because he grew up
You're the one I typed on the phone? Oh, my God. So you're sitting right next to me. Okay, hi.
I knew you were familiar with it.
Yeah, okay.
He will be with Jerry,
Okay.
okay? And
Why would you
all I
do
want
this?
y'all to do now is get that pulled up and call your person, and you're stuck with me, okay? And the only reason for that is because I know Putnam County really well.
Right.
And then we'll go from there. But I do not, if you all chose me, we wouldn't get anything done because I stay too busy. And all I want you to do is get enough information so that we can sit down with you. When we find something, like you were just showing me, if I
Yeah.
have properties for sale, then I'll come to Clay County and take a look at it, okay? And then I have a man that I haven't done any business with yet in Clay County. It's a builder. He's also an investor. And he welcomes a working relationship, so I may have something over there real good, because
Yeah.
the rehabber is a big deal. You know, that contract person is a big deal.
Very
So,
That's exciting.
we're gonna have more questions than we have answers, you know, as we go. we still have it, we're still learning, and we don't know it all, but we know enough about it. When we see some of the things, one of the things on your list, I want to know how delinquent are the taxes, you see, because if the taxes are real delinquent, that's a good sign that there's problems. If the house is vacant, that's good signs. If the house is not vacant and people don't get their mail there, it's a good sign that's probably a tenant living in that house, okay? And so, show them one where the LP's been filed, Faith, where they can see that. Just pick one.
You better stop while you're
You-
Out of a-
You mentioned, about a CBD. Do you want me to stay away from those neighborhoods with CBDs?
No,
No, okay, I misunderstood you.
no. So we got to analyze those. But
Okay.
You need to
I
know
would much rather
which one is
do our
which.
$27,000 deal,
Yes,
okay?
so I
And
need
the
to know
reason for
which
it
way to
is
focus.
because we don't have to have such a big sales price. Since
Yeah.
I've been sitting here, look, I'm getting bombarded with questions from other realtors, what's the cheapest house you can build? We also do new double-wide mobile homes and land packages, and we also do new modulars. So bring that to us. I don't know what kind of a deal I can work with you, but I'll do something with you. You bring us
You do
something,
new
okay?
modular.
Huh?
You do new modular.
We do new modulars, and we're in the process of we're trying to buy 6 houses this month. We've got 4 in contract. We're working on 2 more right now, okay? This is, we're very close on 2 more. We expect to get 6 into contract on the acquisition side of our business this month. And we're talking about incredible things now, all right? And so when we reach out to you and we're looking for a deal, it may be a deal, it may not be anything we're willing to do, and I don't want to upset anybody up here. It's for you to think that every time you find something that fits these numbers that we're going to be able to do it for sure, because we're not, that's just not true, okay? So, if we could all do a deal a month, okay, we'd be doing good. If you could do 1 deal a month to get started and learn, you'd be doing very well. Some of you can do more than that, you see? And when we get down to the negotiation to buy something, we'll use all the different things that we know. All right, I'm talking about options and lease options and buying subject to the mortgage and all those things that we'll get to. So, we know how to do it, we've done everything there is to do in the business. Just about, I think, maybe not. Please don't bring me to anything I haven't seen.
Yeah, right?
New adventure.
Any questions about it?
Yeah, right?
Lots, yeah.
Well, I just wanted to come out this morning because it's a change. Now we're talking about reality. The reality is that you got out and found some properties. And just look what
Rather
she's
than
bringing to this
reinvent the
table.
wheel?
This is ungodly what she's bringing here right now.
So our assignment is just.
That stack of
printing?
papers that she's got in her hand are all of the foreclosures that's been filed in St. Johns County since November of last year.
Holy moly.
Now, can you imagine as a realtor or an investor what that is worth?
Wow.
Do you know that she can do that in any county in the state of Florida?
Right.
And that she can provide us with any numbers of leads and foreclosures and also in delinquent taxes? Do you realize there are tens of thousands of these things available? That's why the supply is much greater than we can do. That's why we don't have to do bad deals, we can do good deals, okay? By being selective and knowledgeable. And you can't be selective if you're not knowledgeable, because you don't know. Yes, sir.
Terry, when we print off these appraiser reports, which particular view do you want to see? And I was paying attention to what Faith, what tab she was going to, but which view?
Probably the plat.
Just the plat?
I would go plat, because that gives you the dimensions like you see there.
I don't care.
Keeps your aerial out of the
I'm not big
way.
about the dimensions. I'm interested in who owns it,
Right.
how long have they owned it? Is
Taxes,
it in foreclosure, the taxes?
size?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right, what's
Okay.
on the property? Is it
Okay.
a house or is it a mobile home?
Okay.
All right,
And probably
and those
the area
things.
sales.
But just what's on your front page of your property appraiser sheet will tell us a whole lot.
Okay,
all right?
okay,
Then from there, we'll know whether to go digging or not digging or whatever.
okay.
One thing about foreclosures, I don't know if everybody realizes, but it's generally a slow process. If somebody gets served with a lawsuit today and you go to talk to them, they may be worried that they're gonna lose the house next week or something, but they're gonna find out that it doesn't work that fast. In most cases, it takes several months at least before I mean, even if they don't pay anything and they ignore it,
Right.
Okay,
it'll take usually a year before
A year.
they would actually lose the house.
not necessarily. They can do it in 60 days.
They
It
can,
depends-
but they
Depends
don't.
on the aggressiveness of the lawyer.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
most of them, if they're owner occupied, they won't. It does take, it will take a long time. They'll give people all kind of chances. And, now, here's one that's in Cypress Lakes, which is a golf course community here. All right, all right. So scroll it down a little bit, Faith. We see who owns it. All right. There. See the size of the property. Now,
Nice.
She lives there,
Yeah.
he lives there. Okay.
How did you know that?
All right.
right here.
That exemption.
It's
homesteaded.
If it says zero, it's
Oh.
It's
usually
homesteaded, it doesn't mean they live there, could it be left
Oh,
anyway?
it means it's homestead.
But is the address the same?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's important. The people probably live there, they apparently live there. From the information that we have, they live there and they're homesteaded the property, okay? Why are they in foreclosure? All right, go ahead, Vic.
Okay, no problem.
It shows total exemptions here. What the property is, what its structure.
Here's the sales information. This is
Yeah.
critical, and I want you to look at this on it. That's why I wanted her to bring this up. I want you to see this. You see the word, the letter LP?
Right here.
Liz Pendens lawsuit has been filed, okay? Now, Liz Pendens doesn't necessarily mean foreclosure. Sometimes it's a quiet title and some other things. That's why the next research. Now, so what we know today, there's some lawsuit been filed against that property that affects that property. All right, something's going on. 99 times out of 100, it's a foreclosure. All right, now, why is that important? Now, if you want to see, show them, just show them. Just go to the clerk of the court and let's see what's filed. Please don't spend any time doing this yet, okay? But I want you to see why we do the chronology and why
Okay.
we do what we do.
Can I interject something?
Sure.
Don't try this at home.
This one particular, don't go down any rabbit holes, okay? This one in particular, if you look back at the history of the property on the sales data,
Oh,
there's been another LP
LP
filed
filed.
against her.
Oh.
Her history is repeating.
Oh.
Same person, same bank.
Different
Okay,
dates.
so she gets caught up and
See
then she
this?
does it
Yeah.
again. She gets caught
that's
up.
what the
Something's
O.
going on, something's going on. This,
Something's
yeah.
happened to her. So that causes me to, how far down the rabbit hole do you want me to go?
Let's look at the lawsuit.
The lawsuit.
The lawsuit on this particular one, the latest one.
The OI is her reply back on the LP.
DOI? Okay.
And it's where they've given the property back to her.
Cause she paid it up.
The OI document you're talking about?
Yeah.
That does not mean that.
No.
Other
it's-
instruments,
yeah.
what that means. That means it could be a reinstatement, okay? Could have been that the people filed bankruptcy at the time, stopped the sale. They might have filed it into chapter 13. I mean, there's all kind of things, so we don't really know what OI means until we look it up. We don't know what the other instrument is. And so, but she's been going through that for a long time, and the mortgage company apparently keeps letting her back, going to get her, or she may get it refinanced and go with a different mortgage
Yeah.
company. See, so there's different things happening. A lot of people will get them reinstated, you know. One of the things we'll teach you when you want to get a little bit further along is we wonder what the payoff is and we wonder what the reinstatement figures is on these, when we're talking about somebody in foreclosure or delinquent, period. We want to find
Right,
out. Okay?
right.
And so, anyway, Jerry and Tom and these guys are doing a good job. They've been working around this and they understand a lot about it. So we believe that we have a lot of answers for most any kind of a question that you get about real estate, except in Putnam County.
It's a whole other world out there.
Well, there's a lot of unrecorded subdivisions,
Oh, wow.
unrecorded plats. And same way in Clay County. And Flagler Estates in this county is an unrecorded subdivision.
There's unrecorded mortgages and that kind of stuff.
Oh, my.
Wow.
But not on that record, we don't care.
She don't like those vegetables. She doesn't like them.
I just wanted to show you this because
The attorney.
if,
Okay.
you know, and I just gotta tell you all the truth about it. She doesn't really like to do this, she likes to do it one-on-one. So, if any of you want a one-on-one, you better call up and make an appointment, okay? Because you'll get the best training and the best help you've ever had in the real estate business. She knows it better than me. And, because she knows how to do the computer, the things I haven't got how to do. So, I've been totally dependent on her for all these years.
What you
And,
paid me to do is do stuff you don't wanna do.
Be nice.
Hey, if the pay is good, right?
Can be. Okay. All right, this is the court case you said you wanted to see.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's chronological.
Look at it, it's called the docket, you see, it's the docket. Every case lawsuit filed will have a docket. The docket is the chronological history of the lawsuit, not of the property, but of the lawsuit. You see, everything that's filed, every motion, every hearing, everything is posted on that docket. And that's what she, so, this is a rabbit hole we didn't mean to take you down, but I want you to see why we're looking at number one. If number one says LP, praise the Lord, hallelujah, that means there's something going on with that property that's out of the ordinary, okay? Now, you may find that when you go look at the docket that it's been reinstated and it's over but it's still, the LP is still sitting out there for 5 years. And that may be what the other instrument is, you see, it might be. So, too complicated for today, but anyway, I want you to see what, now look at the mortgage.
Well, I was just gonna say that when you start trying to find somebody and find out what their situation is, there's a lot more information that can be gotten by looking at the docket as well, because you'll see whether or not they got served. And you'll see down here, I've already asked for the complaint, so you can see what the numbers are. There's a lot of other information to be gotten. Terry goes after the attorneys sometimes to get information or try and find the people to talk to them. So, my theory has been, and I was taught this by Terry and the people that taught me, was each one of these things that you're looking at is a source of information for you to help you make the best decision about analyzing the property. So the more, my theory is the more information you got about the property in any way, shape, or form, the better you're gonna be able to analyze it and make better decisions for it.
Pick up that stack you got there. I just want you to see the volume, right? And when I think that no other real estate company teaches this, I'm gonna stick my tongue out of it, okay? Because
They're listing and selling, that's it.
whether you're listing or whether you're buying or whatever you're doing, these are all cases. These are, I mean, she has 250 cases filed here, right? And she's done the research of what I'm asking you to do. She do it in 5 minutes, it takes us. So, I'm just telling you this because this is a resource, guys. She is a resource, and so is Ms. Barnes, and it's been with me 40 years. This is the team that you have here that wants you to succeed. You know, you succeed, we succeed. That's the way it works. But to find out the details of a property, you better be careful. You don't want her to know anything, because she'll find, and no, just kidding. But to find out the
One
details,
that you can't hide.
That's right.
to find out the details of a property is critical to this process. When you learn this, and that you can go find a property, look it up, do it, make a decision, fill out one of these, send it to me, say, Terry, oh God,
It's
I'm
fine.
sorry. I recommend this, I recommend this deal. Why do you recommend it, okay? If you're gonna bring it to me, I wanna know why.
Okay.
Not BS, I wanna know why. Now, you got a lot to learn to be able to do this sheet, because you gotta know what it costs to record a deed, to how much the stamps are. That's all things we're gonna teach you guys, all right? And so, that's why I showed you this from the very outset. This is the goal. We're not there yet, but every property, every one of these properties could be put on one of these sheets.
Mhm.
And we could tell you exactly what to pay for.
Cool.
Is it harder to do that with higher priced properties?
No?
No. Price doesn't matter.
It's not harder to do it, it's harder to get investors to put $300,000 into something when they can put 100 over
Okay.
here and make the same amount of
Oh,
money.
okay.
So
Got it.
obviously, if you're gonna scale it up to where there's, instead of making 20,000, you're gonna make 60 or 70,000, then you're talking about a different thing. But, so what we've done is we've done a lot on the low end, but we need to graduate and do some of the other stuff too, but we can do whatever, you know. I just want y'all to learn, to analyze them, get down to the basics of this thing, and y'all all have a wonderful weekend, and happy Easter to all of you. And if the weather's really, my wife is sending me texts about
It's
the
getting
weather,
bad.
okay?
We just went under a tornado warning for North,
Yeah, it's
all of North
supposed to
Florida.
rain, yeah, it's supposed to
Yeah.
rain pretty hard.
This afternoon, yeah.
It just took my
Thank
pool
y'all,
away.
today's been a good day.
You're never gonna get it done, no.
No, it took my whole pool away.
Did you get it put up?
I got the walls and the
Hey,
drop
I'm
walls
Sarah.
and
I'm gonna go to
all the
the
drip pack, and I got the liner 3/4 way last
No
night,
problem.
and this is